Look into my eyes. I'm going to hypnotize you. Yes, you. Right now. No, don't look away. Look into my eyes.
Since the 1940s, commercials have been keeping us glued to our screens with their flashy gimmicks, catchy jingles, and sly slogans. But some are memorable for all the wrong reasons. Stay tuned for these messages as we take a look at cursed commercials that actually aired on TV. As a kid, I loved playing with my plastic toys. And if they were battery-powered, even better. But there's one bunch of battery-powered toys I really can't stand.
So, is everybody using Duracell batteries?
You kidding? The second I heard you can't buy a longer-lasting battery, I bought the family a whole case.
Reminds me of the first time we tried Duracell batteries. We were living in Tulsa with your great Aunt Emma. We shared a one-room apartment.
Herb, did you slip her one of those other kinds of batteries?
Me?
God, these things creep me out. And did Herb just kill that woman with cheap batteries? From 1994 to 1996, Duracell ran these commercials across the U.S. featuring this freaky family of doll creatures called the Puttermans, whose existence depended on long-lasting batteries. The actors playing the Puttermans were covered head to toe in latex, even their teeth, which took 3 to 4 hours to apply. Each section of makeup was much bigger than the actor's real body. Their heads were 35% larger and their hands were twice their normal size. Man, I could do with those for my tiny hands. But despite the bigger size, the costumes were made from stiff rubber foam, which encased their shoulders, giving them the stilted movement of robots. For all the Puttermans' hideousness, though, ABC wanted to give them their own sitcom. And even Mr. Hollywood himself, Steven Spielberg, was reportedly considering making a movie with them. Duracell poo-pooed all of these ideas, saying they didn't want to lose control of the Puttermans. Probably for the best. Why anyone would want to watch a whole movie about these monsters is beyond me. Good thing there's plenty of nice brand mascots out there. Tony the Tiger, Ronald McDonald, the Jolly Green Giant, I guess. And just look at this happy little commercial for Sun Fizz.
Mom, we're thirsty.
Well, I've got 2 glasses of Sun Fizz coming right up.
Sun Fizz, that's our favorite.
That's because there's a delicious ray of sunshine in every drop.
Take a look at it. Come on, guys.
I'm filled with nature's goodness.
It's okay.
Hey, what's with you people? I've got vitamins and minerals.
Nah! It's the eyes. Those soulless black eyes. Ugh. Although, to be fair, this abomination isn't actually a mascot for Sun Fizz. Heck, Sun Fizz isn't even a real brand. Nope, it's all a big joke made by Sprite to poke fun at cartoon mascots made to entice children. The American commercial first aired in 1998 and was directed by future indie wonder child Spike Jonze. This guy would go on to direct other uncanny films that messed with your head, like Being John Malkovich, Her, and Where the Wild Things Are. The giant creatures in the last one still make me feel iffy. There's more to childhood than getting frightened by oogly booglies, though. I'm talking about candy. My schoolyard was basically a hawker's market of kids trading the sweet stuff. But there was one candy nobody wanted. Betty Crocker's Gushers. These abominations oozed out fruit goo when you bit into them and were first released in 1992. Okay, nothing weird so far. Well, 4 years later, they released this commercial in the US.
Introducing new Fruitomic Punch Gushers with a taste that's gonna drive you fruity. It's very, very different. And totally appealing.
Oh, I'm not the only one who was freaked out by this ad. According to my friends, well, I say friends, I mean random people on YouTube and Reddit, this was the exact reason they refused to touch them. I mean, look at all those people's lives who were ruined because they bit into what they thought was a harmless bit of candy. Now you know why I won't do a face reveal. And it seems that Gushers aren't the only sweet treats disfiguring naive children.
What brings you two into my office?
I looked up and my gel pudding was gone. And I know he took it.
Jeremy, look at me.
Look at that smile. That is pudding face. You took my pudding.
The evidence is hard to dispute.
That's just the image I need in my head as I gulp down a turd-shaped pudding made of pig bones. Because yes, gelatin is made from pig bones. Although this grimacing child is still less horrifying than the grotesque creature that plagued the old Jell-O commercials. Ugh, gross. If you want to stay up to date with more obscene commercials, make sure you like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments. Now, what disturbing ads up next? If there's one thing Mrs. BMAs has a go at me for, it's my whiffy feet. It's not my fault they're all sweaty, yellow, and fungi infected. If only there was something that would make them smell so sweet that my wife would have no choice but to, you know. Yeah, just like that. This 1990 commercial, which I'm assuming was directed by Quentin Tarantino, comes from Spanish company PA Peak. Any idea what it's for? No? Okay then, it's foot deodorant, with PA being Spanish for foot. Uh-huh. How feating. Don't worry, I've got more foot-based ads for you. Take a look at this one from the now-defunct company STA Travel. Though it's probably not the feet you'll be noticing.
At STA Travel, we're full of useful travel tips. Oh. Ow. Ow. For example, if you're traveling in Australia, it's worth remembering that if you ask for Durex, you'll end up with a well-known brand of sticky tape.
Ugh, I think I've broken my thigh bones from clenching. Apparently the Durex sticky tape fact is true, though I think more with older Aussie generations since that brand is no longer sold. I also asked the Australian guy in our office about it and he'd never heard of it, unless that was actually him in the commercial. Okay. If you're an ex-smoker, like me, then you'll know every now and then a craving for that sweet, sweet puff sneaks up on you. Nowhere is that feeling better captured than right here.
King and she the demo, sweet ayo, sweet ayo. King and she the demo, sweet ayo, sweet ayo. King and she the demo, sweet ayo. King and she the demo, sweet ayo.
Oof. That thing would still make a better Joker than Jared Leto. Though it's not just the cigarette monster that's unsettling. It's the heavy thumping music and the weird face this guy pulls when he wants a cig. It's really just too much. This is a commercial from the Japanese branch of Nicorette, released in the 2000s. But it wasn't just Japan who were plagued by cigarette monsters. There's this 2002 ad from the UK, which takes a more kick-ass approach. There's also this one I like from the land down under. People really had a thing for assaulting Cigarette Man in the 2000s, didn't they? I sure don't remember these, otherwise I would have never taken up the habit. Talking of bad habits, as a big round ball, there's one commercial that really speaks to me. I'm afraid Belly's already got me. This British ad from 2000 was part of a £4 million campaign by Reebok. That's over $9.8 million in today's dough. Unlike their competitors, Nike and Adidas, Reebok wanted to appeal to the pint-guzzling, beer-bellied everyman who exercises just so they can eat an extra portion of fish and chips. The belly itself is actually an 8-foot-wide, 5-foot-tall costume made from hollowed-out foam and decorated with plastic hairs and moles for some revolting realism. Inside, an actor maneuvered the thing, and their legs were digitally erased in post later. Something about the knowingly ugly aesthetic and dry humor hit a chime with British audiences. The commercial, complete with that screeching yet catchy tune, became a roaring success with "Belly Gonna Get Ya" reverberating throughout the country. Reebok's ad arrived right in the wake of Cool Britannia, a cultural and economic wave that hit the UK in the 90s to the 2000s, with creativity booming. Just look at this British commercial from 1999, advertising the PlayStation.
Let me tell you what bugs me about human endeavour. I've never been the human in question. Have you? Mankind went to the moon. I don't even know where Grimsby is. Forget progress by proxy. Land on your own moon. It's no longer about what they can achieve out there in your behalf, but what we can experience up here in our own time. It's called mental wealth.
Yeah, looks like the PlayStation to me. The ad was directed by video artist Chris Cunningham, and the girl, I think she's an alien, was played by the then 17-year-old Scot Fiona McLean. If anyone was able to understand her Glaswegian accent, you'd know she's actually talking about the futility of humans' quest for progress. The message? Instead of worrying about the big picture, waste your time on the PlayStation. Who cares? As long as it makes you happy. That's surprisingly philosophical for a console commercial. For her day's work, McLean was paid £10,000. That's over $23,000 today. And she even bagged a free PlayStation. At the time, McLean was actually unaware what they'd be doing to her face. She said that after the commercial was released, some people thought she genuinely looked like that. Of course, it's all computer wizardry. And that bit at the end where she chuckles at something off camera, that's actually unscripted, but the director liked it so much he left it in. Fast forward to 2006, and gamers were eagerly awaiting the launch of the PlayStation 3. During Game 4 of the World Series, viewers at home finally got their first glimpse of the console. As you can imagine, reactions to this commercial were mixed. Some were creeped out, others were in awe, and most were just plain puzzled. The truth is that Sinister Baby was intended to represent the emotions that the PS3 could muster in the player. Yeah, that went way over my head. It's estimated that Sony spent a whopping $150 million on this campaign. That's more than $230 million today. What the heck did they spend the money on? Well, the whole thing was just a plastic baby doll sat in a room. While we're on the topic of horrific dolls, take a look at this Remco commercial.
Listen to Remco's Baby Laugh a Lot. You're listening to Baby Laugh a Lot. She's the funniest doll you've ever seen. Just push the button and she starts to giggle.
That laughter cuts through me like a jagged knife. And what's up with the jump cuts of those expressionless girls turning their heads? Everything about this commercial is wrong. Clearly, they were advertising towards children who wanted their own demon-possessed doll. I couldn't find much about this toy other than it was produced by the Remco Toy Company, and some guys online claim it's from 1971. But maybe the less I know about this thing, the better. Though if you thought nightmarish dolls were bad, just wait till I ruin dogs for you.
コンソメコンソメコンソメパンチポンチじゃないよコンソメパンチうまさが効いてるコンソメパンチコンソメコンソメコンソメパンチコンソメコンソメ
What the hell was that?
That was a 2007 commercial from Japanese snack maker Calbee for Consomme Punch Chips. Only the mascot they chose looks like a man and a dog were fused into some unholy chimera. I like to think the Calbee dog was once the little boy's older brother who, after being transmuted with their pet dog, tries to help his younger sibling win over his crush. Or maybe he's just a guy in a dog suit who lives in their backyard. Either way, it's weird as hell. The ad's success led Calbee to create more commercials featuring the creepy canine. There's this one where he fights, and probably slaughters another dog, and this one where he's abducted by aliens because, of course, the first one is still my favorite. The others are a bit too self-aware of their own zaniness for me. Now for something completely different.
Humans, you must stop. You must stop. Now. Bananas are for monkeys. Eating the monkeys' food. Stop eating the banana after working out. Gain maxes twice.
What? This atrocity came out in 2008 by Swedish company Gynomax. Believe it or not, this nightmare of a commercial, parodying the Japanese horror franchise Ringu, was meant to promote their protein drink. I don't want a protein drink after watching that, just a teddy bear and a blanket to hide under. Let's move on. How about... yes, remember those silly chimps in those old PG Tips ads? Wait, what do you mean the chimps who were made to dress up and perform were left psychologically damaged? The chimps, after spending a lifetime being trained by humans, lacked the social skills needed to interact with their own species? Oh, great. Looks like more cursed commercials to add to the collection. Ads don't always come from big companies. Sometime in the mid-2000s, a quiet guy named Mark Brown owned a store called Norton Furniture in Cleveland, Ohio. To get more customers through the door, he decided to create his own commercial.
Good news for people that have credit problems. Norton Furniture is here for you. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit in my store, you can't get credit anywhere. My name is Mark, and you can count on it. You gotta help me out with something.
For folks in Cleveland who dozed off on their couch with the TV on, Mark, with his bushy gray beard, awkward delivery, and whispery old voice, made quite the impression. And that was just the beginning. Over time, he created 67 more bizarre commercials that aired on local TV, with their weirdness paying off. People from all over the state flocked to Norton Furniture to meet him and have their photo taken at the store, to the point he now has a whopping 67,000 photos on a special wall dedicated to it. He's even featured in a Taco Bell commercial in 2016 for their new quesalupa that aired during the Super Bowl.
If you can't get credit at Norton Furniture, you can't get credit anywhere. And if you can't get cheese in a shell, look no further than Taco Bell's new quesalupa. It's gonna be big. So big, it might be bigger than same-day delivery. For fabulous furniture, come see me. For cheese baked into a shell, go to Taco Bell. My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
Odd marketing combo, but not bad for a guy who made some cheap local commercials that only ran from midnight to 6 a.m. Another breakout star comes from Egypt in 2010. Panda Cheese wanted to promote their stuff, so they teamed up with agency Elephant Cairo to produce 3 unforgettable commercials.
صباح الخير يا استاذ توفيق. يلا يلا عشان الفطور. جايبه لك النهارده سندوتشات جبنه.
لا والله ماليش نفس.
Chasing love can drive you mad, make you feel real good, make you feel so sad. Oh, 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 chasing love. Make you whoa, chasing love. Oh, 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 chasing love.
Yep, these are the freaky ads that launched 1,000 memes. In charge of the project were Ali Ali and Majed Nassar, who were bewildered by the product's name. I mean, it's not like Panda Cheese is made from bamboo or, panda milk. So what's it got to do with pandas? To put an end to the confusion, they decided to put the panda front and center. For the creature's design, they were inspired by Cadbury's drumming gorilla and went for an ultra-realistic route. Originally, Ellie and Nassar wanted these ads to be much more violent and bloody. However, on showing the execs the initial plans, they were told to tone it down. Even with the milder scenes, though, the powers that be weren't happy with the way their brand was being represented, and within a week of airing, everyone in the marketing department was fired. Thankfully, the panda's success has stood the test of time, going on to have an afterlife online. Another freakazoid came to us in the fall of 2010, just in time for Halloween. One seasonal treat inspired by trick-or-treating came from Snickers in 2010.
Hello, Mrs. Jensen. You don't have any Snickers in your shopping cart. The neighborhood kids love Snickers on Halloween. Let me help you.
Oh,
I'm only helping. Snickers.
we're definitely going to her house. Shh.
This Halloween, nothing satisfies like Snickers.
That was odd. Without that reveal at the end, I'd have trouble sleeping. Because of its sheer weirdness, the American commercial was a massive hit and went on to inspire a few spooky lady cosplays. Holy cow, that is scarier than the ad. The cult of the Snickers lady grew, and her outfit was even sold on celebrity auction site Clothes Off Our Back for $1,900. That's almost $3,000 today. All of these petrifying promotions are putting me on edge. Maybe I should relax with a nice bucket of ice cream.
There's good reason for my glistening skin, and how I shine, and how my pores are so clean and clear.
Oh, we all scream for ice cream indeed. This notorious commercial was created by the American company Little Baby's Ice Cream in 2012. The company made its name selling wacky flavors from Earl Grey sriracha to spicy Chinese mustard. And I guess they wanted their ad to reflect their off-key brand. Their commercial was directed by Doug Garth Williams, a self-described creepy weirdo, and stars Asa Shaiba as the ice cream mutant. Contrary to what I assumed, Asa's not a monster at all. I stumbled across a Redditor claiming to be them, and I even found this picture. Yeah, they're definitely human. Asa isn't even covered in ice cream. They're actually covered in marshmallow fluff. Bet you weren't expecting that. If they'd used real ice cream, it would have frozen Asa's socks off. As for that head dip, the team took care of it using Adobe After Effects, making it look like they really scooped cream out of their head. And this wasn't the only terror Doug and Asa unleashed. Together, they also made Love Lickers, which is just more of the same, really. With all these vomit-wrenching commercials, I'm sure Little Baby's ice cream was flying off the shelves, right? Well, no. In 2019, Little Baby's closed down. I wonder why. As for Doug, that ingenious brain went on to making other charming commercials. Any guesses what that's advertising? No? A tattoo and hair boutique. Right. I can't believe I'm saying this, but both of those ads pale in comparison with what I've got for you next. Keep watching if you can.
옛날에 토끼와 거북이가 숲속에서 놀고 있었어요.
I don't remember being told that version of the tortoise and the hare. I wonder if the tortoise still came first. Now, from what I can gather, this is a commercial for a South Korean app, Moga Travel, where people can find love hotels. That is, places to rent rooms for romantic getaways. So I tried finding it on my app store for research purposes, but there was nada. Not being able to read or understand Korean also makes things a lot trickier. If you can translate the commercial or have any information about it, please let me know. All right, let's turn our attention to public service announcements, or PSAs. These are commercials designed to raise awareness, change our behavior, or just straight up horrify us. While I was digging through the archives, I discovered that Britain is the king of PSAs, where they're known as public information films, or PIFs. Some of them, like Apaches from 1977, have so much child violence that I couldn't get away with showing it here at all. Instead, let's look at this twee creep fest from 1973.
Charlie and I were in the park. Then this man came up and said, "Would I like to see some puppies?" And I said yes. And I was going to go, but Charlie stopped me. Charlie's reminded me, my mum says I shouldn't go off with people I don't know. Then the man went away. We went and told Mummy, and she said we'd been very good. I got an apple and Charlie got something he likes. He says never go anywhere with men or ladies you don't know.
Oh, the 70s were a different time. This is from the Charlie Says series, a collection of 6 animated PIFs from the UK. They followed a lonely little boy who spends his days with his squealing pet cat, Charlie, with each film ending on a moral lesson about the horrors lurking around the home. These films were created by the now-defunct Central Office of Information, and their raggedy look is down to animator Richard Taylor. He made the films with cutout animation, the same method used in the first ever South Park episode. For older generations who grew up with these, they hit a nostalgic note, even being voted Britain's favorite PIF in 2006. But honestly, the idea of a kid whose only friend is a deranged cat doesn't give me that warm, cozy feeling. Something about the film's drab look, the child actor's awkward delivery, and the looming danger makes the whole thing seem decidedly off. Charlie's definitely another stranger I won't be talking to. It's not just children who are at risk in the world of PIFs. Animals can be just as vulnerable. And the British charity RSPCA has been campaigning to protect them for 200 years, even from themselves.
Please give us £1, or we'll have to pull the trigger.
My first thought is, damn. My second thought is, that dog is a darn good actor. You can see why some viewers in 1987 might have been a bit confused by this commercial from an animal welfare charity. I wonder if the RSPCA were channeling the dark humor of this National Lampoon cover from 1973. Though unlike National Lampoon, the RSPCA weren't trying to be funny, which just left people startled and confused. The charity backtracked on the piff and released this shorter version without a gun in sight.
Before you give someone a dog this Christmas, please count the cost.
Bit of a cop-out if you ask me. If you say you're gonna shoot a dog, you shoot that dog. Overall, the 80s were a tough time, especially for the LGBTQ+ community, as they faced the devastating impact of the HIV/AIDS epidemic. Gay men in particular were falling ill to this terrible disease, so in 1986 the Department of Health launched a public health campaign to raise awareness of the mysterious illness, resulting in the release of this film in 1987.
There is now a danger that has become a threat to us all. It is a deadly disease and there is no known cure. The virus can be passed during intercourse with an infected person. Anyone can get it, man or woman. So far, it's been confined to small groups, but it's spreading. So protect yourself. And read this leaflet when it arrives. If you ignore AIDS, it could be the death of you. So don't die of ignorance.
With the booming voice of John Hurt and the direction of Nicholas Roeg, famous for horror classic Don't Look Now and the even scarier movie The Witches, this piff made quite the impact. It all began with Health Secretary Norman Fowler, who was spurred to launch the Don't Die of Ignorance campaign after witnessing the tragic deaths of young men from the disease. Unfortunately, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher was known for her less than sympathetic views toward the LGBTQ+ community.
Children who need to be taught to respect traditional moral values are being taught that they have an inalienable right to be gay.
Undeterred, Fowler pushed ahead, making it clear AIDS posed a threat to everyone, not just minority groups. The grim atmosphere was designed to scare people into reading the informational leaflet that was distributed to every household in the country. While Fowler had good intentions, there's been backlash against the piff for its fear-mongering tactics, which many believe spread distrust and hatred towards gay people, making their struggles during the pandemic even harder. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's go across the pond now and look at a PSA from the USA. Let me get comfortable for this smoking announcement.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet. A place where animals play. It's called the forest, but every year we start forest fires. A careless match or cigarette and poof, fire. So the next time you're in the forest, be extra careful, okay?
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
Smokey? Wow, way to kill the vibe. Yes, that was Smokey the Bear wearing actor Joanna Cassidy as a suit like Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. Nice. This 1973 PSA featuring the mammal mentor was created by the U.S. Forest Service. In fact, in spite of his thunderous voice and dead-eyed expression, Smokey has been a beloved mascot for the service since 1944 and still is today. Now don't get me wrong, I'm all for Smokey's mission to protect habitats, but did we really need that shot of him peeling off a face? Okay, so a lot of the PIFs and PSAs we've seen have focused on keeping kids safe. And from their perspective, adults can be downright terrifying, or big and loud. One ad from Finland really nails that fear. Yikes. This 2012 campaign, simply titled Monsters, was created by Fragile Childhood, a charity that helps kids with alcoholic parents. That commercial shows just how menacing and unpredictable adults can be, as well as the psychological toll it takes on children. Fragile Childhood revealed that in Finland, drinking is often considered a private matter within families, which makes it tough for kids with alcoholic parents to find the support they really need. Kudos to the charity for raising awareness. Now, where's the TV remote? Ah, there it is. Let me just... dang it. Shucks. Looks like it's the end of the show. What cursed commercial freaked you out the most? Were there any atrocious ads I missed out? Let me know down in the comments below, and thanks for watching. See you next time.